just working this out with Scar, getting him in here. Oh, not. Yeah, there you go. Hey, how's it going?
Oh, there we go. There we go.
Welcome.
Sorry about that. Apparently I don't know Discord.
No, that's fine. It's still new. I mean, it's been years, but it's still new. People are still figuring out.
Yeah, it usually just allows me to join, but yeah, it was just being a little finicky there. But yeah, thanks for having me on. I really appreciate that.
You were on last year, weren't? Was it last year or 2 years ago?
No, I was not home that week. I missed it. Blastos
you were
had
supposed
sent me.
to be on and you didn't.
Yes.
Because I distinctly remember whitelisting you because when Blastoise was in the chat going, "Can you whitelist him and he'll come on?" I'm like, "No, it's already whitelisted."
No, something had come up, so I was very happy that this was a great time to join. And like I said, and I know you didn't hear my stream, but this is awesome of you to do.
Thanks.
And give something for people that we're having a hard time, and this is amazing community. And Blastos has told me all about it. He's told our whole chat, whole GoodTimesWithScar Discord chat. So shout out to you, Blastos.
Yeah, totally spreading the good word. He's doing what I'm trying to do too.
Yeah.
No, yeah. Well, it blew me away when I started my server. I did it because I saw some parents that have autistic children on, because I have a blog and I was in the autism community already, so those were the contacts I had. Mm-hmm. And they were saying that their children were being bullied on the servers they try to play on, so they were reaching out to other parents so their kids could play together because then they'd be safe, right?
Yeah.
But Minecraft doesn't work that way. You can't have a direct connection. Like back then there was no realms, there was none of that stuff. So I thought, well, I can help because I have autism. I have a son with autism and we all love Minecraft, so I could help with that.
Yeah.
But little did I know, I sent a Facebook status, just a status to 400 people in my friends list, not even public, just to 400 people, and I got 750 emails in the first 48 hours.
Wow, that's incredible.
I went from a $2.50 a month hosting package that had 5 player slots to the $80 package that had unlimited within 8 days.
You definitely filled something that people needed.
Yeah,
awesome.
Like for a long time it was like, this is amazing, my server is growing so huge and everything, and it wasn't until a few months later that it dawned on me, like, this is terrible, because I really underestimated just how many people desperately need this.
It's sad to think that people would be treated so badly, but I've seen it, but it's nice that I'm just glad there's people like you just stand up and just say, you know what, we can do better than that. So I do appreciate it. I mean, that doesn't make the internet better just for people with autism. That makes the internet better for everyone. Spreading a bit more,
I hope.
Just being nice to people a little bit.
Yeah, and you guys help amplify that message. You guys and HermitCraft and some of the Minecrackers too have come over and stuff,
mm-hmm.
and I can't appreciate that enough, because I'm just one guy and I can't do much all by myself. So you guys, I've been saying all day, like, HermitCraft, it seems to me like, recruits people not based on subscriber count or build skill or redstone skill or any of that stuff, but on like the quality of their character. And every single HermitCrafter that I've talked to is just so amazing. Not just because you help me out, but because you're the type of people who would help me out with something like this. And I love your server for that more than anything, like all the entertainment in the world, and I love it more for that, because you guys are awesome.
Yeah, that's something I think the entire group has been doing for as long, long before I've been there, is trying to cultivate a community that isn't just based on numbers and who can do this and that, but it's based on the person. Like, we have such a wide variety of people on the server from all over the world with all sorts of different skill sets, that it's what makes it great. That's what makes the community so strong, is there's always something for everybody within that community. And we're constantly working on season 5 we announced today, which is really exciting. And everybody in the community right now is just pushing what we can do with survival even farther, so that's exciting. It's cool that we have a game like this that can really bring people together. Mm-hmm. Like, I have my own troubles in life, and Minecraft's always been somewhere where I can go in life to kind of let go of all that stuff in the outside world.
Yeah.
And it's been like that long before I did YouTube, and it's even more of that now, which is great.
Well, especially when you become a part of a good community. It's one thing when you have a whole other world that you can immerse yourself in, but when you have a whole other world with family, pretty much,
Yeah.
people that you can rely on and talk to and stuff, then it's like, why am I still in that other world that sucks, that has bills and stuff?
Yeah.
But
That's
for these kids, like, I feel like I shouldn't be saying it because everybody's gonna go, gosh, stop exaggerating. But this kid, like, these people are saving each other's lives like every single day.
Mm-hmm.
Like I was saying in as you were joining, you probably weren't listening to me. You were finishing up yours, but BuzzFeed and even Dig.com, they were calling us the best community on the internet. And MC Spotlights said the same thing back when they were still doing Minecraft news on YouTube and stuff. Just everybody who comes here gets such a warm greeting. Like, even like reporters and researchers and stuff who nobody knows who they are, but they just get such a warm greeting, and people give them tools and weapons and diamonds and things, and offers them a tour, and says, oh, hey, you want a house to live in until you build your own, and they offer them something. And it's like, everybody is like, what is with, like, aren't autistics supposed to be antisocial, and aren't you supposed to be all awkward and stuff? And they come here and it's like, these are the nicest people you've ever met in your whole life. And I'm like,
yeah.
No.
That's awesome. Yeah, I love that. It's like, you need a house? We got a house. We got diamonds.
Yeah. Yesterday, case in point, this one kid yesterday, he's been bullied everywhere he goes. He just joined Autcraft. I was talking to his mom, and she sent me a video the very first time he joined in at spawn, just like you did just there. And you have like a starter kit, right, with like 3 diamonds and a couple things? Yeah. He spawned in, and somebody showed up right at spawn and said, hey, welcome to Autcraft. And everybody else said, welcome to... Somebody was right in front of him. And he says, it's great to see you. And the first thing this kid said into the video, he goes, Mom, can I give him my diamonds? And like, you just joined the server and 3 diamonds are all you have to your name, and you want to give it to the first person you see who probably has a storage room full of them. But yes, that's what these kids are like, and these kids are bullied like as if they're the worst people on the planet. They're just treated so bad. And this is the very first thing they do when they join a new community, is just be so generous to give the only thing they have in their inventory. Yeah, that's a great story. I love that. I just found the TARDIS from Doctor Who. Yeah, that's pretty cool. Somebody got crazy. That's really cool. Okay, I used to have a wall at one of our older spawns that had the heads of the admins and helpers and such like that, to showcase, to show new players who the staff were. Yeah. But we ended up with more staff than what could fit on any wall, and I had to keep expanding, and I said, you know what, I need something at spawn that has unlimited room. Like, I could just put something there and you walk inside and it's way bigger on the inside. And I was like, yeah, okay, I know what I'm gonna put there. Oh, that's awesome. Yeah, it just answered my, like, as I was thinking it out of my head, I'm like, well, I just told myself what it needs to be, didn't I? So, yeah. You said you're going to have a TED Talk. I am. April 22nd, I'm doing a TED Talk in York University in Toronto. Oh, wow. Yeah. That's awesome. Oh, that blew me away. I'm like, are you sure? It's like a neurologist. This scientist, neurologist person is emailing me. Would you like to do a TED Talk? I'm like, don't you think they'd rather hear from you? I would like to hear from you, what you have to say about stuff. And no, they want to hear about this because nothing like this has been done. We've actually had a researcher from Irvine, California on the server and talked to the kids and stuff. And she's done multiple presentations. She did a presentation last year on computer and information technology for assistive disability, blah, blah, blah. And there was all these robotics papers and like chemistry papers and, like, just checking out the hormones and this and that and everything. And her paper won Paper of the Year for Autcraft. Wow. Yeah. That's awesome. And I mean, it's her paper and she won, but I'm still bragging about it because it was about Autcraft. It's your thing. This is you get to brag about that. Yeah. So, but at the same time, as much as I brag about it, like, as I always tell people, I built the foundation and I unlocked the door, but it's these guys that made this community what it is. When people come here and say everybody's so nice and friendly and offering me all these things, it's like, that's not me. I mean, I kind of nurtured that, I guess, by setting the ground rules and stuff. and you know, being as fair and equal and positive and supportive of everybody as I can. But they do that too. Like, this community wouldn't be this community if it wasn't for them every bit as much or even more than me.
Oh, of course. I mean, you've set the groundwork, but that's the community that makes it. You know, you kind of set the base rules of it, and then they create it. And yeah, no, it's the same thing. Like, you know, my community is, I kind of set a basic guiding point for it, and then, you know, they kind of go for it. And that's what's amazing about, you know, if you can set the right kind of ideals, the right kind of values with your community, and then it just kind of flourishes, which is awesome to see. Yeah. And I think especially with this group, this is the first time I've been on, so I'm loving it. This is really cool.
There's a lot to see and a lot to do. This is a crazy server. This is our latest. This is our 4th spawn, and the server turns 4 in June.
Wow.
So yeah, it's pretty crazy. But one of the things that we do with this server that's a little different than most is most servers reward, like, you apply to be staff, and you're rewarded based on your skills, like in mini games or building or whatever. With this server, all the staff, everybody on here is literally somebody that I handpicked after months and months and months of observation about whether or not they can handle disputes without being able to mute or kick somebody. You know, whether the supportive of people are helpful, or whether they'll drop what they're doing to make sure somebody has what they need, or stuff like that. And if they do consistently, not just with their own family or whomever, then I approach them and say, would you like to be a helper or even an admin? And our ranks and player of the week, and we have a thing called CBA, which is Caught Being Awesome. We have an Autism Father Sword, which goes to somebody who puts the community first. Every single thing we have on this server has nothing to do with what you can do, and rather with who you are. And you get rewarded for that. If you are kind, if you are supportive and encouraging and positive, if you make self-improvements, even, you know, if you get muted every single day because you're so angry all the time, and you have a week where that doesn't happen, and we're like, what's going on? This person is the player of the week for sure.
Yeah.
Like, everything that we do is to try and promote more of that, rather than just saying you need to be better at parkour.
Better than parkour.
Right?
Yeah, it'll give people, you know, a little bit of something to work towards. That's better than parkour.
Yeah. But that's what a lot of servers are, right? Like, you apply, and if you have enough notches on your resume, or you can do enough things, then that's how you get a rank or something special, right? And to me, that's not. It's not the way to do it.
No, that makes sense. I love the idea, like, you know, you have your special sword for people who've contributed to the community and stuff like that. That's awesome. I do like the way you've cultivated this community is inspiring, especially for, you know, anybody creating any community, really. Like, this is really well done. Really well done. You said you had a background in programming?
Yeah, web development. Yeah, PHP programming and stuff like that, making websites and everything. And I did that, and then I started Autcraft, and I thought, you know, doing the servers and working from home and stuff, I'll be able to do that at the same time. But then I got 1,000 people in a couple days. And so I juggled it for like 1.5 years or so as best I could. But then it was like, you know what? I need you people. That's when I started Patreon. I was like, I need you people to commit to this like I do, so that I can be here. Because when somebody signs on and they're feeling so depressed that they're suicidal or something, and they need somebody to talk to right now, I can't be at work.
Yeah.
Like, there's no second chances to be there and talk to them or not. And that was the commitment that I was like, listen, I'm leaving it up to you. You choose. Is it going to be me going back to work to support my family? Or is this it? And they supported me. And Autcraft is still here.
That's awesome. That's awesome that, you know, you built something, and then the community, you know, helps you in return. That's really cool.
Yeah, and I mean, that was the choice that, like, everybody, even all the other admins were like, you need to charge for access because these parents see the value in it and they will pay a monthly fee. And I said, well, the problem with that is a lot of the times, not always, but a lot of the times, the kids who need it most are the ones who have parents that either can't or won't pay for something like this. Like, it's an extra expense for a video game or whatever, and they're just not going to pay for it, or they just, you know, they don't have money for an extra $5. Because it's $30 for the game, you have to have a computer, you add it all up, right? And it's like, okay, even a $5 a month thing is like too much.
Yeah. For
So
sure.
it was, if you have the money, then become a patron and support not just me, but literally all these kids on this server at the same time, because I refuse to charge for it. It's either going to be going away or it's going to be for everybody.
Yeah. Yeah, that's I that is really cool that like I said before, that they support you in return for what you've given them too, so you can always be here for them. And yeah, especially I can imagine when kids get on and they it's a whole new environment too, that might be intimidating.
It
I mean
is,
that's
yeah.
yeah.
Especially because it is a big community, it's even more intimidating in a way. So just that all these kids are like, can I give you a tour? Would you like any of this stuff or whatever? And sometimes it's a bit much, but a lot of times it's like, these people are really nice. Just like it just
Yeah.
catches them off guard in a positive way.
Yeah, that is good, because when you join a community, it is intimidating at first, and especially if the community isn't like, I don't know, out to like welcome you in and get you going. So that's awesome that the community here like welcomes new people to it, and so that's important.
Yeah, and not just like everybody's like, you have to have autism to be on the server. It's like, well, it's the focus, but we also have siblings, parents, aunts, uncles, even friends. Like if you're autistic and you have one friend in the entire world and you want them to play on the server with you, I'm not going to say no. You can play with your friend. So we'll take them in too. And we even take some people who are just really depressed. Like I could sense it in the whitelist application that they need this place, and we'll take them in. And yeah.
So what's the process for somebody that's looking to join? Like say it's a like a kid or like a parent looking to get them, as you said, there's an application. How does that work?
On the website Autcraft.com, we have a ton of info, including a wiki and everything. But we have a whitelist application you have to fill out with basic information: how old you are, what language you speak, and servers you've been on and stuff, and of course your username. I am the only person. I go through every single whitelist application, and sometimes that's an insane amount. Like when Paul Soares Jr. visited, it was like 500 a day I was doing for 2 weeks.
Wow.
Yeah, and I go through every single Google page result for every single user. At the time, there was only ever one username. Since then, they've introduced changing usernames. So now I research the history of every single username a user's ever had, which can amount to about 20 now. And just to check, see if there's any bad history, if they've ever been banned in places or they've ever trolled, if they've ever done that stuff. And so doing 20 or 30 whitelist applications can be an 8-hour day. Now we usually get 20 or 30 in a day. So I have to do that to begin with. And then they get whitelisted, of course, and then we have people on all the time, right? That are constantly monitoring, whether they're just the junior helpers, who are kids with autism by themselves, by the way. Senior helpers, which are adults with autism, and parents. And I mean, it's the community that polices itself, right? Monitors itself. And then if the child or even adult is on the server and they turn out to be a troll, they're gone within like the first sentence, the first thing they put in the message.
That's good, yeah.
And if they're just somebody that's troubled or whatever, then we might have to mute them or whatever. But every single person that we've ever muted or ever done any of that sort of what people consider a punishment, always is followed up by a conversation in private. We always try to see if there's something going wrong, if there's something going like in their life, or if there's just a communication or miscommunication or something like that. And so from every single whitelist application that ever comes in, any parent that comes to us, that person is treated completely unique from every other person that's ever been here at all.
That's a great way of doing it, because I know from my comment section on YouTube and stuff, somebody might write a terrible thing, and I try not to reply negatively, and a lot of times you do get a message back and they're just like, man, I just had a terrible day, I'm sorry for that, I'll delete that, I don't know what I was thinking. Sometimes there is a little extra. It's not just that they're an awful person, sometimes you just have to talk to them, like you said. And so that is important. I always try to tell people that, especially when they're starting YouTube, is try not to react to those comments. And maybe that comment really didn't come from like a hateful place, but sometimes they do, and then you have to take care of that. But sometimes it's just somebody that had a really bad day, and you just kind of have to talk to them a little bit. I've done that many times through my YouTube career is, somebody just needs somebody just to talk to, and they were just frustrated.
Yeah, you just have to not take things personally, either which way. Once you don't take it personally, then you realize maybe their dog died, or maybe they just got in a car accident and their car cost thousands of dollars. Like there could very well be not an excuse but a reason.
Yeah.
So you just don't take it personally, and it usually works out better that way.
Yes, yeah, it does, and and it's what you do here today, and especially it's really inspired me. Like I'm especially just I don't know, just the way you've cultivated this community. It's inspiring for like my own stuff I do. Just the great positive message that you put out, and I love the community. I mean, the community is giving me golden apples. I mean, that's awesome. Thank you guys. Crafting tables, fish, iron. I'm just standing there and I'm being showered with gifts.
You don't stand there for too long. Your inventory will be full.
Yeah, that's right. It's all full. Yeah. Fish here for jelly. I bet somebody was thinking that. That's awesome. My cat.
No, I've had jobs I've enjoyed and I've worked hard at, but I've never had a job where I put in like more than 100%, where, like I've never had anything ever, other than my kids, of course. But like job-wise, occupations or things that I'm doing, I've never had anything that I've put in more than what I need to put in. Not necessarily, like I don't put in the bare minimum, but like if I need to get a job done by a certain day or whatever, I'm going to work hard and I'm going to get it done. But I've never had anything like this where 9 to 5 is like half day. Like I don't feel right if I'm not here, if I'm not watching console, if I'm not in the game talking to people, if I'm not just being a part of it or talking to somebody about it or doing a presentation like I'm going to be doing. It's just, I'm 40 and I've never ever believed in the whole, everybody has a place where they belong, and until I created it. Now I am where I belong.
Yeah, well, this is your thing. This is your passion. I mean, for the most part, like especially other job stuff, you're working mainly for other people, but like this is your thing. You're working towards the community. Like they look towards you. So, I get that you're putting that time in. That's, I think a lot of YouTubers have the same thing. Like this is our thing. We created this, and it's for you guys out there. And it's like you never want to like step away because there's always something else you could do to better that thing. And that sounds like the same thing with you. You're always trying to better this community for these people and make it a better place for them to hang out and play with their friends and get some diamonds, all those things.
Every day.
Every day.
Every day.
I've I bet everybody's here excited about those parrots coming. They're exciting.
They are. They're not so excited about the terracotta blocks.
Not excited about the. I've had many discussions about the terracotta blocks. There's some that I would say maybe there's 3 of them that I could work with. The rest of them, I wish they would tone them down. If they were a little bit of a simpler pattern, I think they could be far easier to implement into builds if there was just like a simple lines instead of this really crazy. And I get why they did it.
Yeah. But
it would be nice if they could scale a couple of those down and maybe get rid of the leprechaun block. There's that one like really nylon green one. It's just like, oh, that one's rough. But I do like the black one. I think that's my favorite. I call it the casino block. And I'm trying to think there's another one, but those are cool. But what about the concrete? Are we excited about the concrete?
Concrete is going to be amazing. Especially the solid concrete, not the powder, because it's just such a, I don't even know what you would call it. It's just such a pure texture. It's it's something we've never had before. Yeah, it's like the closest we've ever come to what do you call that? When you like in modded, where you put 2 things together and the textures join instead of being side by side.
Oh, connected texture.
Connected texture. It's the closest thing that we've had to that in vanilla.
Yes, I've made modifications to my texture pack to make that happen, but it's nice to be something in vanilla that has that thing that you don't have to, make a modification that then if you're on a server with somebody, they don't see what you're seeing, and that's always a problem. So it's exciting to see that. I like powder a little bit better because I do a lot of like landscaping, terraforming stuff. And if you're in a biome that has kind of an off green that's not that great looking, You can use the green. Let's see, is it lime? I think it's just the standard like green, the darker green one, and you can use that as like a grass instead of if you're in a mesa like we were in season 4. You could use that to replace all of that brown green stuff and make it like more vibrant.
I just
grass,
don't. I just don't
nice.
like the footstep sounds on it.
Oh, you're right. I just remembered that it has that crazy sound.
It does. If we could do away with that, it would be the perfect. All of them would be the perfect texture for a floor. But you
you're
like
right. I rarely
outside.
play with sound. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, for videos I usually tend to way down. So yeah, I forgot about that. You're right. That sound would get annoying.
Yep, real quick. But no, I don't know. People have always nitpicked this or that about every Minecraft update, and I've enjoyed every update that's come out. I don't think there's anything I've ever disliked about an update.
No, I can't think of anything really. I mean, there's been changes that maybe to me that I think, oh man, they could have done this or could have done that a little bit different. But for the most part, I'm always happy with whatever comes out. I usually always just trying to look for the positive in it all. That's why I don't do game reviews, because I always look for the positive, and people are like, this game had this wrong with it. And it's like, no, I kind of like these parts of it.
This sucks. Why won't you admit it? Well,
yeah, why would you admit it? It's like, but I enjoyed this part and this part. And I made that joke the other day. It's like, that's why I don't do game reviews.
Yep. Yeah, too true. But, I mean, like, the argument against the terracotta blocks was it doesn't go with anything. Well, isn't that wouldn't that be a positive? Nothing really goes with it. Like, you could say that with stone and wood, and you could say that with grass and sand. Like, they go, but they don't go. Like, you have to make it go together. That's the whole point.
I've said I spent like 3 days trying to make a particular video on how and what to do with it. And what I said in the end was that it's not a building block. It's only a decoration or an accent block. You'd only use it in a very sparing sense. Like if you're to build a kitchen in your house, you'd only want to use it just for the backsplash behind the stove. You wouldn't want to use it, as the cabinets or the walls or something. You just want to use it as that slight little bit of an accent. So you get a little pop of color and texture in your room. The same as like maybe for a bed, you'd build a bed, and maybe the terracotta blocks, 2 blocks at the end, and it acts as like a bed cover, a bedspread. Yeah. You only use like 2 blocks of it, and that's where it's at. If you build your entire wall out of it, then you start getting into crazy town.
Exactly.
You start getting this.
Well, a lot of people it almost would benefit you just to watch a little TLC or something on like home building. Like I did that. Like back when I owned a home, my living room was. You know how everybody uses like an off-white? Mine was off-white with a purple tinge in my living room, but then the wall behind the TV was a darker purple. And so it became the accent wall behind the TV, but it also had the added benefit when it was nighttime and you're watching TV and the lights are off, the wall disappears. Yeah. Behind the TV. Yeah, for sure. And everybody was like, well, I really like what you did with this. And I'm like, really? Because it's just a different color right there. It's like, not like we changed the wall completely. It's just a little bit darker of the same color. And yeah, but a lot of people don't think about that. You're like, what color are we going to paint this? Or what block are we going to use it for this thing? And it's like, well, you have options.
Yeah, and this is just an option. It's not like we didn't have anything taken away. Like we did. Yeah. It's just another option, like you said. That's a perfect way of saying it. And yeah, and like I always repeat this to people. It's like it's just a decorational accent block. It's not a building block. Like a terracotta is an accent block. The concrete, that's your structural block that you'll use.
Yeah, build yourself a big castle or a cathedral or a dining room or something, and smack 4 of those terracotta blocks right in the centerpiece on the floor, and you're done.
Yeah, that's a perfect way of putting it. And you can have a parrot on your shoulder, and it'd be amazing.
Oh man! Of course, the problem with that is once you tamed a parrot, you can't get rid of it. There's no sit command for a parrot.
No, I hope they do fix that. And I know that there's word on the Minecraft block that they're trying to make it so we have more block IDs and we can have half slabs and stairs for those concrete blocks. I really do hope that comes.
Up until the shulker box, you only had a finite amount of inventory and it was already a problem. But now with shulker box, if you can have an inventory full of shulker boxes, there's literally no reason not to have stairs and slabs for stained clay and everything else.
Yeah.
You just carry so much more.
Yeah, it's almost like the backpack we've always wanted.
Yeah.
Just can't access it while we're on the move. I gotta put it down, which is fine.
Yeah.
But it would be nice to have the backpack of our dreams. But at least it's something. That's what's great about it.
I mean, you fill up your ender chest full of them and your inventory full of them. You can carry a lot of stuff.
I'm so disorganized. I started incorporating them into my ender chest. So I've got like 3 or 4. I've got the redstone box I never touch. It just has dust on it. And but it is useful. The problem is like I set up a whole project chest, a few of them with like all the different things I need, and then I lose it in the world. Like it's like over on HermitCraft, like I lost it in this forest. There's like maybe like 4 shulker boxes just full of good stuff, just completely lost. I found it the other day. I was like, oh, there it is.
Oh, a Hermitron. No, wait, that's a shulker box I left there. Huh.
Oh, the Hermitron. Iskel's gonna beat me. I know it. I'm in second now. I was tied with Iskel for first, and I can't find. I need 1 powdered concrete block to find tribe like 17 to put it together to take the victory, but I can't find it. It's
it's probably not even out there yet. Like it's kind of like the Pokemon Go thing, right? Like you set every set up so that there's 1 missing for every single set, and you just don't release it until later in the right. Like Pokemon Go with their legendaries and stuff. Oh, legendaries exist, sure. They're just not there yet.
Yeah. Somebody gave me 2 diorite.
I mean that's what I would do, but that's just me. So you see Rachel T beside you there?
Yes.
She said earlier in chat that you are her favorite YouTuber.
That's right. Hello. Oh, thank you so much. I appreciate that. I'm sorry I missed that. I'm sorry I missed your chat message. Thank you so much. I very much appreciate that.
She's probably been snapping screenshots like crazy.
I'm throwing diamonds. I'm throwing presents out now. I've got presents over here. Oh no, I'm getting presents too. Oh man.
Yeah. Holy moly.
That's awesome. Yeah. So who's this? I see diorite. I keep that back. You never know when diorite will get you. Diorite, it's not the best block in the world, but it can be used. You can use it for glaciers. That's the one thing I've found.
And bird poop.
Yes, of course.
I have a secondary server. It's not mentioned a whole lot because there's like 30 people on it or whatever, but it's for people with autism that are like 15 and older, and they feel like they can't be themselves around a bunch of kids, kind of thing.
Okay.
So they go and play there. It's more vanilla. Keep inventory is not on, and you can't just TP around and all that sort of stuff. More vanilla.
Yeah.
So when I go and play there with them, and I'm taking care of that place, I actually get to play the game. Whereas here on this server, I don't really play at all.
That's cool.
So I challenged myself over there when I started building that base there. I decided I was going to build my base 99% primarily out of andesite, diorite, and granite, because I hate 2 out of 3 of those blocks, and I'm gonna force myself to find a way to use them if it kills me.
I like that. I like the way you thought about using blocks that you dislike. I did that with a house recently. It's a good way of challenging yourself into to try to use a block that you never use, and you can bring out like unexpected creativity out of that. So I like that's a great way of thinking.
Well, I discovered that pretty much all the blocks work well if you use the polished with the regular. So, like, if you build a pillar, you put the polished on the edges, and you put the rough block in the middle, and it gives it a bit of a 3D depth. Like, it looks like if you were to rub your hand on it, you'd rub your hand on the polished, and your hand would go in to where the rough edge is. It's just a bit of a 3D look to it, just enough, and it looks pretty good.
Oh yeah, huh? Yeah, so yeah, you do create because the polished version does have that like slight 3D, and when you place it next to like a flatter block, even just like hardened clay, it does have. Yeah, you're right.
Does, yeah.
Yeah, that is a cool block.
But that's about the only time I've found where it works.
I've used diorite for glaciers, for mountains, and it can save on the snow production, which is nice.
Yeah.
If you're high enough and you're out of the, it's just kind of vaguely white at the top, and it's like, that's snow. Yeah. But it does save a little bit on the It also, the polished one does have a slight glint to it, so it does look like the
Right.
light had catched
It looks like snow the way that television stations did in the 70s when you lost your signal. That's the same kind of snow.
That is true.
Yeah.
That is true. I've got more presents. I got a lot of dye right now. I have 38 pieces and cake.
I'm surprised your inventory isn't full yet.
I do have cake. That's pretty cool. I'm gonna put that on the cake so everybody can enjoy the cake.
Nobody can enjoy it at spawn.
Oh.
Still, I mean, they can enjoy the magnificence of the cake.
Let's all gather around the cake and enjoy the cake. So that I that is cool to have another server for older people too. That's a good thought to include that too. That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
You thought of everything.
I try. Doesn't always work out. I can't make everybody happy, but for the most part, it's not bad.
No, you in life you just can't make everyone happy, but as long as you can make it, everybody's at the cake.
Yeah.
As long as
you did it.
At least get a large amount of people happy about it. Everybody's enjoying cake.
As you're trying to explain that you can't make everybody happy, you go and make everybody happy with cake. You lied. You can make everybody happy. Appease awesome. The cake gods, Dapper Dinosaur says. By stepping on it, yeah.
Yeah, everyone is on the cake. I had to back up a little bit just to see, and yeah, everybody's on top of the cake.
Everybody's asking me now if we can go over to ACO now because I've been talking about it.
Oh.
I think we have asked enough of Scar for now. Maybe another day.
Voices.
Maybe
yeah,
one
definitely.
Day when
and I'm whitelisted on the server, so I can stop by and say hi every once in a while.
Absolutely,
is that cool?
Yep. You have the special guest rank, which gives you basically the same permissions as me, to be honest. Which allows you to build here and do stuff. Oh, I figured, if HermitCraft people and whomever are going to come over and visit, and you want to leave, something at spawn that just says you were here or hi or whatever, as some guests tend to do, then you need the permissions to do that, because otherwise you can't build here.
Yeah, definitely.
With the server with 8,000 names on the whitelist, if I let people build at spawn, we wouldn't have a spawn. It would just be a big old mess.
Yeah, they could get crazy.
Oh yeah, even if they only put one sign each, that's 8,000 signs around here.
Yeah, I was on a server where somebody found there was a problem with the spawn. There was a couple blocks that they could mess with, and those couple blocks were always messed with. It's our blocks, we can get it.
If you can mess with it, it will be messed with.
It will be messed with.
Rachel T in the Twitch chat says, I will owe you my life, Scar. I don't know what that means, but I'm sure that's
I will cash in on that. You will gather me dirt for the next season.
Here you go.
I need dirt, lots of it.
I think that's a follow up to Can Scar join ACO? I will owe you my life. That's what that is. That's quite the bribe.
Yeah, that is quite the bribe.
Can you tell Scar that he's the best terraformer ever, please? From Ace Griff on the server.
Ace Griff, thank you. I appreciate that. I do love terraforming. It's something that I find super relaxing, just to create trees and mountains and all that stuff. And thank you. I'm glad you enjoy it. I don't know if you saw it, but Impulse's base on HermitCraft server is my favorite thing currently. I have seen it. We've done a lot of natural stuff maybe over at Ren's base, but doing something completely different over at Impulse's base was exciting. Kind of changing out, getting out of the normal and trying something different was fun.
Mm-hmm. I made a mod pack a little while ago. It's still 1.7 because so many mods are not updated anymore, but it's called Autcraft Real World. And the only mods that are in it are real world generation and biomes of plenty and DecoCraft and stuff that makes it feel like a real world. There's, natural animals in it and stuff like that. And,
that's cool.
And one of my favorite things is to just walk off and go and see what plant life, it's got Pam's Harvest Craft and extra floral stuff. And it's just, you find running streams and little lakes and bears and berries and stuff all over the place. And I could just play that for a whole day, just walking. One of my favorite things to do. And yeah, so if you can terraform and make stuff look natural, that basically is why I have that mod pack.
Oh yeah, that's cool.
Because Minecraft does a good job, but not that good.
No, that especially in beta days. Now,
Oh my
beta,
gosh.
the train was interesting. Like it was always it generated more unique things, whereas now it generates things that are kind of all kind of in the same like ecosystem of like design. Like you can see that variation in some way or another, but still was kind of goofy. So yeah, that's where I started terraforming, was just fixing my world that I've had since beta. It's just slowly like adding my own like design to it a little bit.
Well, that's good. Oh, Ninjago says, can Scar make something at spawn? See, this is why I just shouldn't talk, because when I say something, all of a sudden it's, can he do that?
Can he do that?
By the way, you can change stuff at spawn, and 5 people. Can you change something at spawn, please?
I did. I put the cake. That's Scar original cake.
There you go. That's right. At the spawn before this, we had this little pond right in the center of spawn, and like a little tiny thing, kind of like this white circle right at spawn we have here. And when Biffa visited, he decided to put a sign on it that said Biffa's Bowl. And so that's what it became for like the next
Biffa's
year.
Bowl.
Biffa's Bowl at our spawn. It was awesome.
Oh, that's funny.
Just one little sign is all it takes.
That is funny. Yeah, I will have to put a sign. Scar cake.
There you
Come
go.
all to Scar cake.
Good luck.
For everyone.
Everybody's gonna be in the way.
Everybody's gonna be in the way.
You should have creative and stuff. You can grab a sign.
Okay.
And,
yeah.
unless people have given you a couple stacks of them already.
Yeah, I did. Yeah, I don't have a sign yet. I've got other things. I've got books. I've got a cookie, and I've got 2 emeralds now, which is pretty fancy.
You got a cookie. You're all set for parrots.
I am. Oh, that's right. They add in B version. You can. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
And a big thanks to Blastos for telling me about this and all that stuff. And so I appreciate you, Blastos, for giving me all the information.
He is very awesome.
I'm
He's a big
very
help on the
forgetful,
server.
so he's kept me I'm always forgetting stuff. So thank you, Blastos. I appreciate that.
Wow, are you getting a face full of you?
Oh, geez, I was.
You are.
This is true. Hello, Scar. So that's what everybody sees when I stare at them.
Yeah, that's. I bet you'll never do that to somebody ever again now.
Oh no, I far too much enjoyed that, especially when the server's new. People are in their little house, their little tiny house at the window, and there's just my face in the window, like, hello.
Yeah. I can't pull it off as well with Goku.
Oh man, yeah. I like I said before, thank you for doing something like this for people, because I don't know, there's not enough people that think of the struggles of other people and how they can help them, and you did that, and that's awesome. So that's the huge thank you for that, because look at all these people over here enjoying this and having a safe place to play and hang out with their friends. That's really awesome. Oh, Scar's back. Scar's in my face again. Scar's in my face again.
You're not going to sleep well tonight now.
No, I'm not going to sleep well tonight.
Well, I thank you. I thank you for coming, and as I say, when Hermit Crafters come, like, to lend me your influence and your audience, and to back me up to support something like this is, I couldn't do it without it, and it means a lot.
Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah, so I've got to get going. That's a stream for a long time, but I really enjoyed hanging out with you guys.
Not as long as me.
Really awesome. Oh, this is true.
But no, thanks for stopping by.
No, and I will be back on in a little bit. I just got to kind of shut down the rest of my stream stuff and make the VOD and stuff. But I will be back, and I will claim that cake, a Scar cake.
Sounds good.
All right, guys. Thank you so much for having me on. Thank you for everything you do. Is awesome. It's that Scarface is right in my face again. All right, everybody. Have an excellent day, and I'm giving you energy to finish out your stream. I'm giving you and channeling you energy. All right, everybody. Thanks for having me. Goodbye.
Ciao for now. Well, there you go.